The history of tobacco is long and complex. It is a tale spanning continents and cultures. For centuries, tobacco has been a source of pleasure, ritual and trade. Native cultures in the Americas were the first to cultivate and use tobacco. They smoked it in pipes, chewed it and used it in ceremonies. European explorers encountered tobacco in the 15th century. They quickly developed a taste for it and brought it back to Europe. Tobacco use spread rapidly throughout Europe and Asia. It became a valuable commodity, fueling trade and colonialism. Over time, different methods of consumption emerged. These included pipes, snuff, chewing tobacco, cigars, and eventually cigarettes. The tobacco industry grew in power and influence. It played a significant role in the economies of many countries. Today, the tobacco industry faces challenges. Health concerns have led to increased regulation and declining smoking rates in many parts of the world. However, tobacco remains an important crop. It supports the livelihoods of millions of people worldwide. Its history is a reminder of the enduring human fascination with this plant. Tobacco, known scientifically as Nicotiana tabacum, begins its life as a tiny seed. These seeds are incredibly small, with thousands contained within a single seed pod. Farmers carefully collect and store the seeds until planting time. Planting tobacco requires precision and care. The tiny seeds are sown in seed beds, often indoors or in greenhouses, to protect them from harsh weather. The seed beds provide a controlled environment. This ensures the seeds have optimal conditions to germinate and sprout. Farmers keep the soil moist and warm. They shield the seedlings from direct sunlight. Within a few weeks, the seeds germinate. Tiny tobacco seedlings emerge from the soil. The seedlings are delicate and vulnerable at this stage. Farmers monitor them closely, providing water, nutrients and protection from pests and diseases. Once the seedlings are strong enough, with several sets of leaves, they are ready for transplantation to the fields. Transplanting tobacco is a labor-intensive process. Farmers carefully transfer the young seedlings from the seed beds to the fields. They space the plants evenly to allow for growth and airflow. The soil in the fields must be rich in nutrients and well-drained. Tobacco thrives in warm, humid climates with ample sunshine. Throughout the growing season, farmers meticulously tend to their tobacco crops. They irrigate the fields regularly to provide the plants with adequate moisture. Farmers also fertilize the soil to replenish nutrients. They carefully monitor the plants for signs of pests or diseases. Tobacco plants are susceptible to various insects and fungi that can damage the leaves and reduce yields. Farmers use a combination of methods to control pests and diseases. These methods can include natural predators, pesticides, and disease-resistant varieties of tobacco. The goal is to protect the plants and ensure a healthy harvest. As the tobacco plants mature, their leaves undergo a transformation. The leaves, initially green, gradually change colour, turning shades of yellow and gold. This colour change signals that the leaves are ready for harvest. Harvesting tobacco is a multi-stage process. It typically begins in midsummer and continues for several weeks. Farmers harvest the leaves selectively, picking them by hand as they ripen. The lower leaves mature first, followed by the middle and upper leaves. The harvested leaves are carefully bundled together. They are then transported to barns or sheds for curing. Curing is a crucial step in tobacco production. It helps to develop the flavour and aroma of the leaves. Section 5. Curing the crop, drying tobacco for flavour. Curing tobacco is essential for reducing moisture content and developing flavour. The curing process varies depending on the type of tobacco and the desired flavour profile. Two common methods are air curing and flue curing. Air curing involves hanging the tobacco leaves in well-ventilated barns or sheds. The leaves are left to dry slowly over several weeks. The slow drying allows the natural sugars in the leaves to ferment, developing a rich, complex flavour. Air curing is often used for cigar tobacco, which typically has a bolder, more robust flavour. Flue curing, on the other hand, is a faster process. It uses heat to dry the leaves more rapidly. Farmers hang the tobacco leaves in specially designed barns, equipped with flues. Heated air circulates through the barns, drying the leaves within a week or two. Flue curing produces a lighter-coloured tobacco with a milder flavour. It is the preferred method for cigarette tobacco. Section 6. The art of fermentation transforming tobacco. Fermentation is a crucial step in tobacco processing. It transforms the chemical composition of the leaves, enhancing their flavour, aroma and smokability. During fermentation, microorganisms in the tobacco leaves break down complex sugars and starches. This process produces various compounds that contribute to the unique characteristics of different tobacco types. Fermentation typically takes place in large piles or bales of tobacco leaves. The leaves are stacked together, creating heat and humidity within the pile. The temperature and humidity are carefully controlled to ensure optimal fermentation. The fermentation process can last for several weeks or even months, depending on the desired flavor profile. After fermentation, the tobacco leaves are sorted, graded and aged. Aging further improves the quality of the tobacco, mellowing its flavor and reducing any harshness. Once the tobacco has been aged to the desired level, it is ready for manufacturing into cigars or cigarettes. Section 7. Crafting cigars, a hand-rolled legacy. Cigar making is an art form, a meticulous process passed down through generations. It begins with selecting the finest tobacco leaves. Cigar makers, known as torquedores, carefully inspect and blend different types of tobacco to achieve specific flavor profiles. The blend typically includes filler tobacco, binder tobacco and wrapper tobacco. The filler tobacco forms the core of the cigar, providing the bulk of its flavor. Binder tobacco holds the filler together, ensuring a smooth, even burn. Wrapper tobacco is the outermost layer of the cigar. It enhances the cigar's appearance and contributes to its flavor and aroma. The torcedor hand rolls the cigar, carefully layering the different types of tobacco to create the desired shape and size. The cigar is then placed in a mold to set its shape. Once the cigar is dry, the torcedor trims the ends and applies a cap to the head of the cigar. Finally, the cigar is inspected for quality and consistency before being packaged and shipped to aficionados worldwide. Section 8. The rise of cigarettes, mass production and consumption. Unlike the handcrafted tradition of cigars, cigarette production is a highly mechanized process. It enables the mass production of cigarettes to meet the demands of a global market. The process begins with blending different types of tobacco to achieve the desired flavor and aroma. The blended tobacco is then shredded and treated with additives. These additives can include flavorings, humectants to maintain moisture, and preservatives to extend shelf life. The treated tobacco is then fed into cigarette-making machines. These machines roll the tobacco into thin cylinders of paper, attach filters, and package the finished cigarettes at incredible speed. The invention of the cigarette-making machine in the late 19th century revolutionized the tobacco industry. It made cigarettes more affordable and accessible, leading to a surge in popularity. Today, cigarettes are the most widely consumed tobacco product worldwide, despite the well-documented health risks associated with smoking. Section 9. A Tale of Two Smokes, Cigars versus Cigarettes. While both cigars and cigarettes deliver nicotine, a highly addictive stimulant, they differ significantly in their production, composition and consumption patterns. Cigars are typically larger and thicker than cigarettes. They are made with whole tobacco leaves, while cigarettes use shredded tobacco. Cigars are generally enjoyed occasionally, with smokers savouring the flavour and aroma without inhaling the smoke deeply. Cigarettes, on the other hand, are often smoked habitually, with smokers inhaling the smoke deeply into their lungs. This difference in smoking behaviour contributes to the distinct health risks associated with each product. Cigar smoking is associated with an increased risk of oral, esophageal and laryngeal cancers. Cigarette smoking, due to the deeper inhalation of smoke, is linked to a wider range of cancers, including lung cancer, as well as respiratory diseases and cardiovascular disease. Section 10. Tobacco Today, an industry in flux. The tobacco industry today faces numerous challenges and uncertainties. Health concerns, increased regulation, and changing social norms have led to declining smoking rates in many parts of the world. However, tobacco remains an important crop, supporting the livelihoods of millions of people, particularly in developing countries. The industry is adapting to these challenges by exploring new products and markets. E-cigarettes and other vaping devices have gained popularity in recent years, particularly among younger generations. The long-term health effects of these products are still being studied. The future of the tobacco industry remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear: tobacco will continue to be a subject of debate, controversy, and economic significance for the foreseeable future.